My name is Matthew Ward. I'm the head of the history program at the University of Dundee in Scotland, and I've been asked to say a few words about studying abroad and studying particularly at Dundee, and why study abroad and why come to Dundee. And I'm here in Louisville in Kentucky to try and promote what we have to offer in Scotland and in Britain to students who want to study with us. I think the first thing that I stress, because people have put off right away at the thought of overseas study is just going to be so expensive, I can't possibly think about it, is that actually if you look into it, the cost of studying abroad and the cost of studying particularly in Scotland and in Dundee is not hugely prohibitive. It's very much the same as studying at a lot of state universities in-state here. So just to give you the head-up fees before we get anywhere, the tuition costs at Dundee are £14,000 a year for international students. Our students don't pay tuition and fees, and that would be about $18,000 to $19,000. Of course, exchange rates fluctuate, but we will guarantee the cost in dollars when students are accepted. Total costs with living and accommodation built in are between about $25,000 and $30,000 a year. So it's not that different from studying here. And I think it's horrible to start with money, but I think that's the thing. People think, oh, it would be great to study overseas, but I can't possibly afford it. We have some grants for American students. There are some scholarships. Also a lot of American government loans, transfer, students can work off campus, so these things are quite feasible. So let's deal with, that's the nasty bit of it out first. I mean, it is quite feasible for a lot of students. So why study abroad? Why would you want to do this in the first place? Well, I say I'm a history professor, but I did all of my graduate work over here in the States. And I think studying overseas actually really helps you to change your perspective on the world, and it really makes you a more confident, a more resilient person who is prepared to handle all sorts of different issues and problems that come your way, which is what you need really in the job market. And I think one of the great things about coming to somewhere like Scotland is that it's different from the United States. It's very different from here, but it's not that different. I think students find they can cope with things. It's not a completely alien environment, and particularly we speak a very similar, it's not quite the same language, so students students don't have a lot of the basic problems that they might have studying elsewhere. So it's a very easy place to study in that sense. It's not, it's 7 hours flying from New York to Edinburgh. It's not a huge distance away. You can get home for Christmas for breaks if you really want to. The other side to that, of course, is it's very easy to travel around Europe. So students who want to travel, I'm always amazed at my particularly American students. I'll see them on a Friday morning and say, what are you doing for this weekend? And they'll be like, oh, we're going off to Paris for the weekend and things. Because travel in Europe is quite cheap and quite easy. So it opens up all of these opportunities, and it makes students look very different from how they might look if they had a degree from a university over here. So if someone has an international interest, it's certainly something that we would very strongly recommend. So why come to Dundee in particular? That's why I'm here, really, to try and encourage people to apply to Dundee. The University of Dundee is a medium-sized university. We have about 16,000 students. We're located on the east coast of Scotland, just north of Edinburgh. We have good connections to the rest of Scotland, to the rest of the UK. The university is ranked in the top 200. I think we're about 188th ranked, which puts us about 200 places above the University of Kentucky. We sort of rank between Indiana and Ohio State in terms of research reputation. The university itself has been named Scottish University of the Year for a number of years. Our students are really very happy. We really care about our students, and we do, I think, a good job working with students. I should say I went straight to Dundee from my postgraduate work at William & Mary, and I didn't intend to stay there, but I've now been there 25 years, which is one of the reasons that I get sent out to do recruitment, because I'm very enthusiastic about what we do. So we have really good students. They're very happy with what we do. The city campus itself, we're right next to the city centre, so everything from the train station to department stores to grocery stores are right next to campus. A lot of students live on campus, and international students are guaranteed on-campus accommodation when they apply, but other students live quite close to campus, and that's one of the things that gives campus a really good vibe. The degree, it's a 4-year degree program, like the American system. I'm here particularly to promote our liberal arts degree. That's rather like the American system. You come in, First 2 years you take a range of different courses, and then you specialise in the last 2 years, and you can do a whole range of different courses. I'm not going to go through them all and name them, because I think you can find them very easily on the university website. If you just search for the University of Dundee, you'll find all of this information. Campus is a really nice place. It's a really safe place to be. The students, the very active student life, lots of student societies. We don't have varsity sports that you have in the United States, but we do have a lot of team sports. Students are really strongly encouraged to get involved in these sorts of activities. As an academic, we all moan that we're not allowed to teach on Wednesday afternoons, because this is time specifically reserved for students to do sports and club activities and things. So it's very strongly encouraged and very actively supported by the university. We have lots of field trips. We take our students all over the place. In the past 2 months, we've taken them up to a castle on the west coast of Scotland. We've been to a jute mill in Dundee. We've taken them in the past on field trips to Madrid, to Prague. We're talking about going to Amsterdam next year. So there's lots of opportunities through the university itself to travel and do things and get involved in all sorts of different activities. So I think Dundee, it's a great place to study. It's a great place for students to be. It broadens your perspective, and it's very, very doable. It's not hugely expensive and unfeasible for students to do. So that's why I say come to Dundee and come and study in Britain.